I was on Instagram one day and I was looking for what did not look for me, and I saw this very beautiful sleeve, and instantly I named it the exaggerated band sleeve because that was what came to my head. And in this video I'm going to show you the simplest way, the easiest way and the fastest way to cut and sew this sleeve. Here's the fabric we're working with, and this fabric is on a fold, okay? And from the top, I'm just going to measure the length of the sleeve, and I took 6 inches. Now I was working with like 5 inches, but plus sewing allowance made it 6 inches, okay? That's the length of the sleeve. Then after marking 5 inches for the length, I went ahead to draw a straight line, okay? Then from the top, now I want to mark the width. I went ahead to mark 9.5 inches, which will give me 19 inches, okay, because this is on a fold. So I did this at the top and the bottom, so we have a working piece, okay? So now we have highlighted, or we have marked out our working piece. This is what we have here. Now this banded sleeve is a little tapered towards the end, so from that point I'm going to mark 3 inches inwards because I want to give it this tapered look, okay? And I'm going to mark 1 inch in, okay, to give it that kind of triangular tip. And I'm also going to do this at the top. I marked 3 inches inwards, and I marked 1 inch to give it the triangular look, okay? So after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was to use my ruler to draw those lines. So this is what we have here, guys. Very straightforward, very easy. This is the first piece, okay? This is the smaller one that's on the top. So this is what it looks like. Now we're going to go ahead to cut the facing. So I just went ahead to place that piece on the remaining parts of the folded fabric, and I just went ahead to cut out the lining piece, okay? Now if you want to work with another fabric, you can use another fabric to cut the lining piece. So this is what we have here. These are the 2 pieces for the small part of the exaggerated band sleeve, okay? Now it's time to cut the second part, and this fabric is still on a fold. I went ahead to mark 9.5 inches for the length of the band, okay? That ½ inch is for like the sewing allowance. It's not like it is the sewing allowance, okay? Now after marking 9 inches for the length of the fabric, I went ahead to mark 13 inches for the width. Now 13 inches, it's on a fold. That means we are working with 26 inches. That's the entire width of the bigger band, okay? So after marking that out, from that point I went in by 5 inches, okay, because we want that tapered look. I went in by 5 inches, and at the top I went in by 1.5 inch, okay? You know the other one we did 1 inch, but for this one we are doing 1.5 inch. So this is what we have here, guys. Then I just went ahead to use my ruler to draw. Is this an inverted triangle? But anyway, you can see what I'm doing there. So after doing all my serene and drawing all my drawings, I went ahead to cut out the working piece, okay? And like we did for the smaller band piece, I also went ahead to cut 2 pieces of this, okay? The main piece and the lining piece. So this is the small band, and this is the big band. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do, or I went ahead to do, was I used gum stay on it. That strong gum stay, I used it on it. Okay, so this is the big piece, the big band, and this is the small band, okay? Now to kickstart this tutorial, I'm just going to place the band on each other, and I'm going to join the top, okay? So I took it over to my sewing machine, and I joined the top part. You can choose any place to be your top part, okay? I joined the top part of the band. Then I opened it up and I top stitched, okay? You're going to do this for both pieces of the band, the big band and the small band, okay? So after top stitching, I'm going to flip it over. You're still going to leave it at the back, and you're going to join the bottom, okay? You want to make sure you are top stitching correctly. You're going to join the bottom. So after I joined the button, I just went ahead to cut out excess seam allowance that I don't need to prevent it from being bulky, that the band will not relax. And after that, I went ahead to make smaller cuts on the seam allowance so that it will relax, because that part was not top stitch. Okay, so after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was I flipped it over. Okay, you can see me fighting with it. You're going to fight with yours, so just bear in mind with that. Bear that in mind. I don't know the kind of English I'm speaking, pardon me. Okay guys, so this is what we have here. Okay, I've turned it over, and the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do, or I went ahead to do, was I went ahead to give it a really good press. Now you want to make sure that the place you top stitch is going to be the back part. That's where the top stitching line is showing. Is going to be the back part of this band. Okay, that's the lining part. You understand me? So this is what the smaller band looks like, and this is what the bigger band looks like. Now this is a lining on a fold, because of course it is an exaggerated sleeve, it's a structured sleeve. It needs some skeleton, something that will make it stand. Okay, and this is what we want to create here. We want to create a channel that will make it stand. So I just placed the band on a fold on this lining, and I'm going to trace out the outline of this band. Okay, on the lining. Remember, the lining is on a fold, so I just traced out the outline for the big band and the small band on this lining. After doing this, the next thing you want to go ahead to do, or I went ahead to do rather, is I went ahead to step down my measurement by 1 cm. Okay, that other line you guys are seeing inside, I went ahead to step down the measurement by 1 cm so that this lining can easily go through the band. Okay, because if it's the same measurement, you will not be able, it will not easily, in fact it will not enter the band because it's the same measurement. So we need like an ease allowance. So that's why I went down to step it in, but to step it down by 1 cm all over, both for the small band and for the big band. So after doing this, as you can see, I'm not cutting on the first line, I'm cutting on the second line because I've gone ahead to step it down by 1 cm. Okay, so the next thing I went ahead to do is I went ahead to cut out the lining piece to prepare it for structuring. Okay, so after cutting, this is what we have here. Next thing I picked up is my crinoline. So I'm going to use my crinoline, and I'm just going to attach my crinoline to this lining piece. I'm going to layer it. I want to make sure that all the lining piece is covered with crinoline. Okay, so I just went ahead to attach the crinoline to the lining. There's no special technique to do this. Just make sure the whole lining is covered with crinoline and they are well secured. So you want to join both ends of the crinoline. So after doing this, I cut out the excess crinoline that I don't need. Okay, those ones we don't need it. So you want to cut it out. If the crinoline is still fraying, just use like your lighter to burn it a little. So this is what we have here, guys. This is the small part, the small band lining and the big band lining. Big band. Let me not twist my tongue. So the next thing we need is our boning. So apart from the fact that the lining, you are going to attach the boning on those points. Okay, in the middle and on the sides, the left hand side and on the right hand side. Okay, so I was saying something before. So apart from the crinoline, we also need the boning for structuring to give it more strength. The crinoline gives it strength, but the boning gives it more strength. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say before I started mumbling. So after attaching the boning to the lining piece, this is what we have here. This is what it looks like, guys. So you are just going to grab the lining, okay, and you're going to put it into the band. So I'm working with a small band first. So I just grabbed the lining and I put it into the band, and I just shoveled it in. You guys, I had to fast forward it, but this took me like about 1 minute to do. And this is what we have here. You can see that it's already coiled. Okay, it has bended. It has given it that form that we are seeing in the picture. You can see. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead. You can see this is what we have here. Then for the second piece, I did same thing. You guys, forgive me that I'm doing this voiceover both in past tense and present tense. Just forgive me. Okay, so I went ahead to do same for the second sleeve. And this is what we have here. You can see what that tapered look we did when we were cutting. You can see the effect it has on this exaggerated band sleeve. Okay, so that is the two pieces. Now the next thing we want to do for the big band is we are going to fold it like that, just as you can see. We're going to join it at that point. Okay, I'm going to do this for both sides. So after doing this is what we have here. The next thing I went ahead to do was I just attached it to any available dress I have. Okay, and one thing, if you have a dress for me, to make this thing easier for you, but you need a needle and thread to attach this to your dress. So I just attached it one way, flipped it to the other side, attached that side before I go ahead to arrange it well on, and also attach this one. It's very, very simple to do this. It's not difficult. So this is what we have here, guys. You can see how beautiful. If you want it bigger or smaller, just play around with your measurement, and you're going to have this beautiful exaggerated band sleeve. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow me on Facebook, make sure you subscribe on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye guys, one love, bye.